my name is Mr. Trent.
I'm sorry. I forgot to plug in.
My name's Mr. Trent. I teach ag mechanics at Trinity High School.
We're trying to teach the kids here that, because not everybody can sit behind a computer after high school and work on like that. Somebody's got to work for a living. And that's what my goal is here. I've had a welding rod in my hand since I could walk. And I want to teach these other boys about that. And, here we go to welding competitions, cutting competitions. We do trailer build-offs. We build trailers, take the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Show. Out there on the map. We want to make Trinity a name. And that's what we're trying to do here. Sean, you got anything you want to say?
I moved here my sophomore year, and I can tell you right now, joining ag was probably one of the best things I've done in a long time. Now, I didn't start, welding since I was a kid like this one. I started my sophomore year, and I've grown throughout the years, and my welding has gotten better, and my, working development has gotten better. So joining ag is probably the best thing that I've done because it helps out a lot. Not just working with things and building stuff, but other things like, learning to work together with others and, stuff like that. And it's a good thing to do.
So like they said, we have different competitions and stuff we go to. For example, we went to a balloon competition last year in April or May. And Mr. Nichols right here walked away with the first place for cutting. We also got second place for cutting, which was won by another student of ours, Mr. Colton Ward. We also went to, like you said, went to Houston last year. Last year we placed 6th overall in our division for Houston in the gooseneck trailers, which, as I was told by a judge that is a professor from Sam Houston, we were one of the first. It was one of the first times they've done that in a little over 10 to 15 years. So we're growing, we're getting there.
Trying to make a name for Trinity.
What classes are there overall?
Okay. So for the ag mech program, you actually have to, so for all ag programs, you have to start out in Principles of Ag, which is our basic class where you learn all the minor things and stuff like that. Then you will move on to Introduction of Ag Mechanics.
Is it just for boys or girls?
Oh, no.
No, it's not. It's not just for boys. I actually have more girls interested in my classes than I do boys in the past year. And I have girls that are better welders than most of my boys. And I will tell them that every time. So the first class you take in the ag program is Principles of Ag. Principles of Ag is where you learn all the basics of agriculture and the FFA, which is a big part of our program. After that class, you move on to Introduction of Ag Mechanics, which is the first class you will take with me. Introductions of Ag Mechanics is a class where you learn not only welding, but you learn carpentry, masonry, electrical, plumbing, and fencing, and other different aspects that are involved in the world of agriculture, to help you better understand that in this world is not just welding. When you get out of ag, you can go be anything. You can be a plumber, an electrician, be a mason. Masons are not that often used anymore, but you can still be one. But then after that class, you will move on to the ag equipment and design, or ag fabrication, whichever name we give it that year. It changes every year. In that class, that's more of a project-based class, whereas in Intro to Ag Mechanics, you are learning the process and all the steps of how to properly use the tools, how to properly do the process. In equipment and design, you are more so, how to say it, on your own, and it's a project-based class. So you won't be fully on your own. I'll still work with you in the class. I won't hang you out to dry and make you do it by yourself, but I'm trying to push you to where it's more on your own basis learning. And then we have the final class, which is either Welding 1 or Welding 2, which is my double block class, which ranges from an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes, depending on the year. That class is a solely project-based learning class. That is the class where once you're in that class, I expect you to be in there working, welding all the time. Because it's in that class, that's where you're training to go out in the workforce and learn to weld and be a better worker. Something that you can do starting this year through my program is you can actually get certifications for welding. There are different certifications for different things, but so you can have a certification. So when you graduate, you do actually have the ability to go out into the workforce. And the program is open to both girls and boys. It's not just limited to it. I have several girls, like I said, that are wanting to join my program to better themselves, and honestly, they're better welders than my guys, so I welcome them.
And anybody can do it, guys. It's not hard. Anybody can learn how to do it.
They're just not better than Sean. So the big question everybody gets is, what can you do after you graduate from college or graduate from high school? When you go to college, you can do a number of things when it comes to agriculture. You can be an ag teacher like me, an ag extension agent where you work for the county and work with kids. You can go into the forestry service and work for the Texas Forestry Department. You can go be a game warden or a biologist with Texas Department of Wildlife. The sky's really the limit for you. A lot of big things, though, people ask me about is welding. What can I do with welding, Mr. Trent? I have a very good friend of mine that graduated about the same time as I did from high school, and he graduated college a little bit earlier than me. He went to a junior college outside of Waco. If I remember correctly, it was a Tulsa college. But he graduated from there, and he went to work for a power plant, and he's a welder there. He's now a union hand at that power plant. He has worked there for 8 years before he became a union hand, and he is a welder, and he makes probably about 3 times as much money as I do a year. So you can go out and make money. You can even go, as one of my former students that graduated last year. He works for a pipeline company, and he is out. He's not a welder right now, but he's out learning the trade to become one eventually, and he makes good money. He makes a good living for himself. So honestly, it's just what you put before you.